The Bad Batch Season 2 was pretty great in some episodes and not so great in some others. However, the finale was pretty much a great revealing episode that showed us more than we thought we could handle, because it appears that there aren't just two unaltered clones of Jango Fett, meaning Boba Fett and Omega. Subsequently, did you know that Boba Fett's real pseudonym was Alpha? So Alpha and Omega are not the only ones. It seems that there is another, a third one, Dr. Hemlock's chief scientist in Emery Carr. Today we're going to talk about why this is extremely important as to the canon lore of Jango Fett, Boba Fett, and also, is she really a clone? Because I have my suspicions. We're going to go through everything, so stay tuned for every single Star Wars goodness. Because as I looked carefully through that scene, the ending, of course the ending was the big blockbuster, it wasn't really disclosed whether Emery's DNA is also unaltered like Omega and Boba's. Aside from Omega being a female, Boba Fett, a clone male of Jango Fett, is completely identical. Emery is a bit different, giving us the indication that if an unaltered female clone of Jango Fett, such as Omega, does not look like Emery, then this means Emery might have a different background that we have not really come accustomed to from Jango Fett, and I'm going to talk about this of course more, but there are three finally, one brother, two sisters. Two of them are individualistic, but it seems like this sister, her allegiances lie with the Empire. She first appeared in Season 2, Episode 11, called Metamorphosis, although throughout all this time, her top half of her face has been partially covered by her goggles. This allowed her to fly under the radar as a Jango Fett clone until she actually revealed it in the ending of this season, albeit just saying she is her sister. Very much a Luke Skywalker moment. It is only through her accent, her heavy New Zealand accent that we've come accustomed to from Tamora Morrison, aka Jango Fett, Boba Fett, and now even Omega, that we believe her when she says that she is Omega's sister, aka Boba Fett's sister. And if you look at that scene closely, it's not like she's being sinister with Omega that much. It looks like she wants to help her somehow, although we will have to wait until Season 3 to really find out her true intentions. This could really indicate that Emery wants to help her fellow clones or her fellow brothers and sisters. We saw this kind of with Crosshair. Although she participated in his torturing, she really wanted him not to resist and not to suffer any further. There's an interesting part in this, and that is that Boba Fett has not appeared now in 2 seasons in The Bad Batch. He was kind of involved with the Clone Wars series, but when it comes to The Bad Batch, 2 of his sisters have appeared in canon, but not Boba Fett. So, by all intents and purposes as of right now, we have no idea whether Boba Fett ever found out about his 2 sisters. You see, a large part of Season 1 was learning about Omega's history and her importance to both the Kaminoans and the Empire. So it is revealed in the end that Omega was an unaltered clone of Jango Fett, making of course her DNA very valuable because it could expand the Empire's cloning program. As we see, it has changed very much so. I mean, we saw what they did with the Zillo Beast, and I think they have a similar goal with Omega, albeit now all of the focus have been shifting on Palpatine now that we know what's going to happen in Rise of Skywalker. When she escaped with the Bad Batch with Clone Force 99, I really expected that they would bump into Boba Fett sooner or later. As I said, this hasn't happened yet, although Omega has become a very formidable little soldier. She was not a soldier at all, but through the Bad Batch she became a competent archer at the very least. One thing is for sure though, Emery Carr is obviously a scientist. She is not a soldier, she is not a bounty hunter. All the clones of Jango Fett have somehow or another ended up being soldiers or fighting for a cause, whether that be the clones that were produced for the Republic, whether that be Boba Fett or now Omega. Emery, if she is a clone of Jango Fett, she has excelled in cloning technology, in the science behind it, proving that there was more brain to Jango Fett than just brawn. In fact, Nala Se herself wanted to teach Omega. That was her initial purpose. One more thing, it's kind of made clear that Emery is kind of the same age as Boba Fett should be right now, perhaps even older, which should indicate something to you, should give you a hint as to her background, but I'm gonna leave that for the end. This is my complete speculation. First of all, if she is a clone indeed, she might have been produced together with Boba Fett. If Omega is Boba Fett's sister, then Emery should be Boba Fett's twin sister. Again, Bad Batch Season 3 will shed a bigger light on this issue when we learn about her background. And herein lies my biggest issue as to the proclamation that Emery is a clone similar to Boba Fett. Why I doubt this very, very much is why then the Empire is going after Omega when they actually have a DNA of Jango Fett right there in front of them in Emery Car. Well, let's talk about two possibilities. The first one, of course, is that she only told Omega. We are the only ones that know she is Omega's sister, aka Jango Fett's daughter. So she might be a double agent from the inside. She might be somehow trying to save clones more than kill them. When she finds an opportunity, just like with Omega to bond and with Crosshair kinda, she will give it her best. But when she sees that they are doomed by Dr. Hemlock, then she will not resist any further in fear of being discovered. This is the first possibility that came to my mind. Of course, now I will come to my biggest conclusion and biggest bombshell that I think nobody really talks about, is that what if she is not Jango Fett's clone? I'm not saying she is not Omega's sister or Boba Fett's sister as well. I'm saying she is not a clone. While Omega and Boba Fett are indeed unaltered clones of Jango Fett, Emery Car could be the actual daughter of Jango Fett. Think about it. This is the main reason why Emery Car does not look like either Boba or Omega. She has some of their features and has the same thick accent, but isn't really anything like them, to the point where she is more brains than brawn. That's why she flew under the fans' radar this entire time. We couldn't really discover until she said it from her own mouth that she is her sister. I say this because we don't really know any background on Jango Fett. Back in Legends, we knew that Jango had other kids. One particular story comes to mind where Boba Fett finds his half-brother. However, in canon, we don't really have any stories on Jango Fett other than some minor comic book stories or mentions here and there. And even those comics have more to do for Boba Fett's raising by Jango Fett than Jango Fett's background as a whole. So we don't know if he was perhaps romantically involved one time and he never found out that he has a daughter in Emery Car. These are my two possibilities. As I said, only Season 3 will have the answer, of course, but to me, these are the two possibilities. Either she is secretly hiding from Hemlock and the others that she is Jango Fett's daughter or clone, maybe, or the second possibility is that she is an offspring, a daughter, and her DNA has been somehow tainted. Maybe it's not as pure as Omega's and Boba Fett's. It's going to be really interesting to see in Season 3 what's going to happen. So guys, let me know down in the comments, what do you guys think about this possibility? Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed, leave a thumbs up down below, subscribe for dailies. Now you have an awesome day, Star Wars fans. I'll see you in the next video, and may the Force be with you. Until then.